A very good morning to all and welcome back to Biodiversity Updates channel. I'm Lucas, your live reporter for today. Today we will be updating about activities that has strengthened Malaysia's biodiversity. Two of the most common activities that had strengthened Malaysia's biodiversity are open burning and rubbishes at the river. First of all, let's connect to our live reporter over another side, Chan Jiling, Mr. Chan, to explain about rubbishes at river. Hi Jiling, could you explain what is happening over your side?
Hi Lucas, and hello everyone, I'm Chan Jiling. And recently, the issues of garbage disposal into rivers has increased in our country, especially in the Selangor state. Rivers are the main source of water supplies and have played important roles in various types of industry, as well as the water supply for the inland area for drinking and cooking purposes. Unfortunately, most of the rivers in Malaysia are polluted and become a threat to humans, animals, and plants. The Water Quality Index (WQI) is used by the Department of Environment (DOE) to assess the level of water qualities of rivers. Recently, a total of 1,064 water quality tests is done within 146 different river basins. As a result, 58% are clean from pollutants, 34% are moderately polluted, and 8% are highly polluted. The pollutant that contribute the most in these issues is the garbage, which includes the industrial and domestic sewage, waste from agro-based and manufacturing industries, house and road constructions, deforestation, waste product from mining activities, and heavy metal from the factories. The bar chart shows the number of garbage production has increased for the past 10 years, and try to imagine what if all this garbage is thrown into the rivers. The effect surely will be a harm that we humans could never ever imagine. A research shows that around 300,000 tons of garbage is thrown into the rivers every year in Kuala Lumpur, and this results in water crisis issues indirectly. Sungai Sengat and Sungai Ayer Merah from Johor, Sungai Jelutong, Sungai Julu, and Sungai Prai from Penang are considered as dead, as there is no aquatic life can be found there. Sungai Klang is considered as the most dirtiest rivers in Malaysia. Why? Because 30,000 tons of garbage can be found is thrown into the rivers every year, and our government has spent 4 billion ringgit in Malaysia to solve these issues. We can find that the garbage that mostly can be found in the rivers are domestic garbage such as paper, plastic, metal, food waste, and etc. Followed by the disposal of waste product from industry, especially the waste products that are radioactive. Why these issues occur? Because of the laziness, the carelessness, and the unwilling of people to get rid of the garbage in a proper manner. People want to save the payment of getting rid of the garbage by just throwing them into rivers and let the current bring them to the seas, which considered as the easiest and fastest way to dispose it. Moreover, our country encouraged us, we people, to throw rubbish into the rivers until 1996, where these activities is finally be prohibited. Thank you.
Thanks Jiling for your report over your side. For next, I would like to continue about situation of open burning in Malaysia. For next, I would like to invite our another live reporter, Miss Liu Jiahui. Hi Jiahui, I'm Lucas. Could you update what is happening over your side?
Thank you, Lucas. I'm Liu Jiahui, and I'm currently at residential area in Chemor Perak, which is one of the open burning hotspots. Open burning is the burning of any matter that the products of combustion are emitted directly into the air without passing through a flue in an uncontrolled manner. Common waste burnt are paper, cardboard, food scraps, plastics, leaves, wood sticks, and other household waste. According to the data from the Environment Department of Malaysia, the department recorded 6,475 complaints of open burning in 2019, 6,473 in 2020, and 5,987 in 2021. Carbon dioxide is responsible for 96% of waste gas emission. In 2020, carbon dioxide emissions for Malaysia was 262.2 million tons. Open burning creates nuisance odors and smoke that can make it difficult for people with respiratory problems to breathe. Loss of control in open burning can cause in forest fire and destruction of property. Open burning is done mostly because it is easy and cheap, but it is actually dangerous for the environment. Back to you in the studio, Lucas.
Alright, thanks Javi. Since we have heard two of the most common activities that has threatened Malaysia's biodiversity. So there must be negative impacts that the activities will bring to the environment and human. So let's connect to our Malaysian Nature Society's representative, Miss Helina, to have more information about the negative impacts of rubbishes at river. Hi, Miss Helina.
Thank you, Lucas, and hi everyone. My name is Helina, and today I'm going to talk about the negative effects on throwing rubbishes into rivers. Waste that is dumped illegally into rivers and streams often contain dangerous and toxic substances, which soak in all the oxygen in the water. This will lead to depletion of oxygen available for aquatic organisms, causing them to die in their natural habitat. These aquatic organisms would also often get choked or caught on by plastic materials like plastic bags, causing debilitating health or death. Some would also even eat the said plastic material. Did you know that 100 million marine animals die each year from plastic waste alone? In 2019, in Philippines, a young whale had starved to death due to its stomach was filled with 88 pounds of plastic. Not only that, but when we throw our rubbish into rivers, as the garbage decomposes, it will add nutrients like nitrogen and potassium that will lead to algae bloom, which could also cause death to animals living underneath it. Some algae bloom could contaminate our drinking water and cause illness due to the toxins it produces. In 2012, a series of blooms caused major deterioration in South Korea's drinking water qualities, affecting water supplies to 10 million people in Seoul and its surrounding areas. Thrown rubbish in rivers could also find its way into our drainage system, and it could obstruct the free flow of water that enters into these drains, causing water to back up during rainfall, flooding the surrounding area. Flash floods may arise from this problem alone. That is all from me. Now back to our moderator, Lucas.
Thanks, Miss Helena. Since we have discovered about the negative impacts of rubbishes at river, for next I would like to invite representative of Natural Resource and Environment Board representative Mr. Lam Song Chen to tell us about the negative impacts of open burning. Hi, Mr. Lam. Could you explain about what are some negative impacts of open burning?
Thank you, Lucas, and hi, I am representative of Natural Resources and Environmental Board, Lam Song Chen. I've explained about impact of open burnings on biodiversity. Open burning is harmful to biodiversity because burning of prohibited material such as garbage, plastic, painted or traded woods openly will release toxic chemicals that pollute our air. Polluted air can be inhaled by fauna and deposited in the soil, surface water, and plants. Residues from burning contaminates the soils and groundwater, thus can enter the food web of ecosystem through crop and livestock. In addition, certain chemicals released by burning can accumulate in the fat of some animals and consumed by other predators, which then may cause death of different predators and thus have a significant effect on our biodiversity. The burning of biomass leads to release of thick black toxic smoke, which is mostly composed of carbon dioxide. The large-scale productions of this gas will contribute to global warming. Because carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas, this means that it will cause an effect like a glass in a greenhouse, trapping heat and warming up inside leads to increased average global surface air temperatures. Global warming can affect species in many ways, including expansions, contractions, and migration of habitats, increased incidence of disease and invasive species, change environmental conditions, and failure of ecological relationships among species, such as loss of critical pollinators or mutualistic nutrient fixer. Some species may escape by migrating northwards or southwards in response to these changes, but these species will perish if they fail to adapt themselves in the new environment. That's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Lam. Since we have discovered about the situation of activities that has threatened Malaysia's biodiversity and its negative impact, so I would like to invite my friend Mr. Ryan to share about some knowledge on importance of biodiversity. But first of all, in my opinion, biodiversity is important in providing humans food resource because it provides us with crops and livestock. Crops such as maize and rice are planted on a large scale in agricultural zone to produce food for human and animals. It is also known as agricultural biodiversity. Agricultural biodiversity includes all components of biological diversity of food and agriculture. Besides, animals such as cow and chicken are fed and managed on a large scale in order to sustain the livestock demand of humans. In addition, Food and Agricultural Organization of the United States also stated about 5 billion hectares, or about 38% of global land, were used for agricultural activities, and among them, 1/3 is for use for croplands, and another 2/3 is for livestock. Secondly, biodiversity is also important in education. It is important to give children and also adults on exposure of biodiversity, and it's important so that they have image of how biodiversity works and contribute to human. So this is possible to help students and the community to develop understanding and ability to apply the concept of biodiversity. So such teaching strategy can be an important contribution for sustainable development of the world. So Ryan, do you have anything wants to add on besides than what I said?
Hi Lucas. Yes, indeed that biodiversity is essential to our life. One of the importance of biodiversity is that biodiversity provides us with medicine resources. Medicinal plants are supplied through collections from wild populations and cultivations. Fun fact, do you know that modern extinction rates are about 100 to 1000 times greater than extinction rate calculated over past eras? Many medicines such as antibiotics and painkillers are cultivated from plants and animal resources. The preservation of biodiversity provides a vital link to critically expand the molecular diversity necessary for successful drug discovery efforts in the future. Back to you, Lucas.
I see. Thanks Ryan for your sharing. Since biodiversity is so important for us, so we must know how to protect our biodiversity. In my opinion, the easiest way to protect biodiversity is through restoration and protection of biodiversity. This can be done through setting up a protected region that protects the organism's habitat from having any kind of destroyed by process of urbanization and development. Through setting up protected areas, the people can view the ecosystem. So the people have more knowledge, more image, and thus there can be more respect on what biodiversity has contributed to human. For example, Taman Negara, Penang National Park in Penang, Bako National Park in Kuching, Sarawak was set up for restoration and protection of the natural biodiversity. So Ryan, do you agree with what I say?
Yeah, I agree with you, Lucas. In my opinion, we can protect the biodiversity through the methods such as captive breeding and seed bank methods. This to protect animals that near extinctions through capture and reproductions of rare species such as emerald rhino and black rhino. After they have been reproduced in large populations, they may be reintroduced back to nature to let them breed. Seed banks are storage of huge varieties of plant seeds and prevent plant species of going extinct. When the plants are grown, they can reintroduce back to their habitat. Secondly, we can also protect our biodiversity through public educations. Educating the public is important to raise people's awareness onto the issues of biodiversity conservation. Through a series of education, such as public campaign and introduce more biodiversity conservation lessons into the syllabus of primary and secondary educations. Educate for a sustainable development on biodiversity, which means education's focus on relations of organisms with their habitats to biodiversity able to support life in a sustainable way. Through proper educations, the teenagers and the society can know the importance and contributions of biodiversity to humans and to the environment. Without sustainable biodiversity, quality of living will be affected. People should be educated with activities did by humans on nature and its consequences. For example, loss of biodiversity, changes of biodiversity will affect the stability and functions of the ecosystem, which may have significant impact. Activities such as deforestation, uncontrolled logging, improper waste and wastewater disposal has increased the risk of some infectious disease such as dengue fever and cholera. That's some ways from me that can protect the biodiversity. Back to you, Lucas.
Thank you Ryan for sharing. And I think we have gained much knowledge and we have a clearer image on biodiversity and its contribution to us through today's live session with multiple agencies and reporter over another site. So that's all for today's news session. Thanks for watching.